What happens when one of the most powerful women in British politics, the Deputy Prime Minister herself, admits she didn't pay enough tax on her own property? What happens when the story shifts from a question of numbers to a question of integrity, public trust, and political survival? Tonight, we're talking about the shocking resignation of Angela Rayner, Keir Starmer's right-hand woman, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Housing Secretary, and the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party. A woman who rose from a teenage single mom on a council estate to one of the most influential leaders in the country. And yet, in the end, it wasn't her political opponents, it wasn't an election loss, but a tax controversy, stamp duty on her second home, that forced her out. Stay with me, because this story has everything: political drama, personal sacrifice, and the haunting question of whether honesty in politics is enough when mistakes are uncovered. Angela Rayner's resignation wasn't just another political shuffle. It was a bombshell. She wasn't just a cabinet minister, she was the Deputy Prime Minister. Sir Keir Starmer's second-in-command. The face of Labour's working-class credibility. And yet, earlier this week, Rayner admitted she had underpaid stamp duty on a property she bought in Hove, East Sussex. At first glance, that might sound technical, even minor. But in politics, perception is everything. An unpaid tax, that's a headline no minister wants. The controversy began with media reports suggesting Angela Rayner had underpaid as much as £40,000 in stamp duty. Rayner initially said she believed, on the advice of lawyers, that she didn't owe that money. The property, she was told, couldn't be considered a second home. But as the pressure grew, the spotlight intensified. Questions mounted. And suddenly, Rayner referred herself to Sir Laurie Magnus, the independent advisor on ministerial standards. It was a bold move. One that suggested confidence or desperation. But once the inquiry began, the outcome became inevitable. Sir Laurie's findings were, in many ways, sympathetic. He praised Angela Rayner for her integrity, her commitment to public service, her dedication to her role. But he couldn't ignore the facts. She had failed to pay the correct stamp duty. And worse, this failure was only discovered after what he called intensive public scrutiny.